Hello everyone and welcome back to Lovella's Coloring. For this video, I will be showing you guys how I color fur, especially the way I did it on this page. I did a video on how I do a grassy background using markers, and I had this portion done already when I did the video, so I had a couple requests asking how I do the fur for the rabbit, so I thought I would just go ahead and do another quick video showing how I went about coloring the fur. And yeah, as you know, my quick videos is never less than 30 minutes, so it'll be around hopefully between 30 and an hour. Yeah, so the page we're going to be working on is this page, The Crafty Critters, which shows Hoppit and Ittybit. That's the names of the rabbits. The illustrator, which is Ellen Jareckie, in the beginning she writes descriptions about the 3 rabbits that are in this book. Ittybit is tan and is the smallest rabbit. So for this rabbit, I'll be coloring him tan, where we can see. So Hoppit is a lop-eared rabbit with gray fur, so I'm going to be coloring her gray. I'm going to be using the same colors that I used on Hoppit for this page also. Okay, so I started this page already earlier in the day because just for Easter there's some color alongs for that, so I wanted to do this page also. Yeah, so I started off with the markers and then I started going in with pencils for the little details on the egg, and I'm going to continue using markers for the rabbits also. So for the gray rabbit, I'm going to be using, this is, I can't see, CG1 Cool Grey, and the way this looks like on Create Space paper is right over here, the light shade right over here. And then for Ittybit, I'm going to be using cream, and this is the Touch New marker. So the cream is this color right over here. And the pencils I'll be using are the Sargent art brands, of the Sargent art brand. So for Ittybit, for the tan rabbit, I'll be using yellow orange, light brown, and brown. And the way the colors look is right here. So here's yellow orange, and here's light brown, and here's brown. I might, if I feel like I need more shadow, I'll probably come in with a dark brown, but I'm not sure. I'm just keeping this out just in case. And then with Hoppit, the 3 grays that I used for her fur is silver, gray, and dark gray. In the Sargent Art Supreme series, there isn't that much variety for grays, so I just picked the 3 grays. Yeah, so it's silver, gray, and dark gray. And yeah, I usually, when I do fur, it's I usually use 3 different colors. The base is always the lightest color, and then I come in with 3 colors for the fur. I will start off with the Cool Grey CG1 for Hoppit, and I'm going to be using the the bullet nib. Just gonna color here. This is her face. I'm just gonna leave that little area for the nose. Let me see, let me see if I can zoom you in just a little bit. Okay. So, and then for her ears, I like to just go around the tip. The inside part of her ear is going to be pink. And the thing with Ellen Jareckie's rabbits is that she already gives you the direction of where the fur is going. So one thing about her illustrations that makes it a little bit easier to know which direction to flick your pencil marks, so you'll know with the flow of the fur. And the way I'm coloring fur for this page is pretty much the same as how I would do it for pencils. With pencils, I would put my lightest shade, and I will color up the whole thing the lightest shade. So I'll find like the lightest gray that I have, and that would be my base. And then using like the 3 different shades of gray that are darker than my base, that is what going to be the same technique that I use to color fur for this page. So you can use that also when just using pencils. And the tail is white, so I'm going to leave that one white right here. Okay, so Hoppet is done. Now I'm going to use cream number 36. This is the Touch New. The gray came from the Lemouchet markers. And from what I know, Touch New and the Lemouchet markers both have the same number codes and names for their pens, but the colors of the ink varies a little bit. So I'm just going to start with, make sure I'm recording okay. I'm just going to start with this part, the hand. It does look dark a little bit, huh? Usually markers will lighten up, so if it appears too dark, I think next time if I color another from this book, I will get a paler shade. I'm not so worried about lines in this book, mostly because we're going to be doing fur here. I'm going to be doing the snout and around the eyes with pencils, so I'm just going to go around here, just like that. Go around here, just leave a little space. And you can see that I always lift off, especially when I get closer to the edge. It's because alcohol markers like to spread, so I try when I lay, I like lift off towards the end. So same thing with this ear, I will just go around just slightly. Here. Cute tummy sticking out there. There. My son is not here right now, my 3-year-old son. If you watched my other video, how I was doing the grassy background, he was in the background playing with his Paw Patrol toys, and then he was also watching the TV show. So he was giggling and laughing in the background. But right now we had early release, so the kids are done with their homework, so I asked them to watch their brother while I do this video. So I have a sign on my door, so hopefully they don't come knocking. Okay, so I'm also gonna leave his tail white for now. So now I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for a bit before I come in with the pencils. Okay, so the page is dry, and I'm gonna color Hoppet, the gray rabbit, first, and I'm using silver, gray, and dark gray. And I'm gonna start with the gray. Start with the middle color. And what I like to do first, and this is what I do also for other animals that I color and they have fur, and it, you know, if they don't have the lines, you can also do the same thing as determining where my shades are. So like for this ear, like the inside part closest to the egg that's where I would assume the shades are going to be. So I'm just going to start there with the gray and just flick, and it doesn't, as long as you're going in the like Ellen Jareckie already shows you the direction of where the fur is going, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just going in towards that direction, and just, I'm not really going like side to side, I'm just following the direction of the fur. So over here, I think the darkest it would be down here, and so she has some fur sticking out, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then she has some sticking this way. I'm just gonna start going up, just following the fur. And because it's flattening or folding over here, I would think the lighter part would be over here. And then so I'm just gonna start putting the gray in the middle. I'm guessing right now. Sometimes I would look at a reference, but it's hard to find a reference of a rabbit bending over like this. So I'm just guessing where I think the shades are. So I'm going to the inside part right here. And here, just a little bit there, and can't see the face on that side, so I'm just gonna guess which way the fur is going. So I'm just gonna leave that much. So we're gonna go down here, and because it's under the egg suit, I'm just gonna follow the directions of the fur and just keep going down a little bit, and a little bit on this side. I think there would be shadow on top of his foot because, or her foot, because she's leaning forward a little bit. And here I like to put like you can see like she added a little bit more, so it looks like there's another toe, so there's two toes here. So starting there, that's where I would stick the gray, so you can like see the difference. And then I'm just gonna do the bottom. And it's good to have, I forgot to say, really sharp pencils. They really help with laying down little strands. And with this, the fur, it's already kind of drawn in a little bit. It will look like it's being filled in faster with pages where they don't have this portion. It's just a blank with just the outline. It will take a while, so it will it won't look as it'll look a little bit messy, but you just keep on going with the fur. I always start with the medium one or the mid color, and to put where my shadows are, which will help determining where I'm going to put my darker shade and my lighter shade. Okay, I'm going to do the tail last. So next, I'm just going to come in with the silver, and I'm just going to go kind of on top of where I laid the gray, and I'm just flicking out. It's hard to tell because it's right there. So this silver is closer to the base color, so it's hard to tell the difference. And I'm not covering all of the base, so I am leaving space for that to show through. So just keep flicking. I don't know. Let me know if you want me to do another page showing just the pencils without markers and pencils, but especially one where there's not already fur showing. I'm not sure if this is okay to understand how I do the fur with this. I can always do another video just doing all pencils too, so just let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do that. So I'm just going to keep filling in, and now I'm going towards the middle space right over here, and I'm just following the fur. Just keep going, and as I flick, I'm turning my pencil around so you can keep getting that pointy, and so it's not so flat. There you go. There's a little bit over here that I didn't see. Let me come back with the gray, and just right in here, because just gonna be dark. So now I'm gonna come in with the dark gray. So right where I started before, I'm just gonna go in and just enhance that area where I think the shadow is. So this is the darkest color I have that's going to be going on this gray bunny, and I'm being a little more careful. Sorry. So in here, so you can see the difference. There's dark, and then gets the medium shade, and the lightest shade I already did on top. This here. Because there's something in here, I'm just going to color that in. Looks like a hole, so I'm just gonna. So, like I said earlier, where I thought where I was thinking the shadow would be in the middle, that's where I'm gonna start and just that. And just a little bit coming down here. No, the inside part here. And a little bit on the face. Yeah, so that's pretty much my process. I use the mid color to place where my shadows are going to be. I use the light one to fill out any other space, and then I come in with my dark color to fill in where all the dark spots are going to be, or dark fur is going to be. This one I'm just going to bring it out a little bit. Especially here underneath the tail. And this side. You can start seeing a difference. The flicks, and just come up here. On here, because it's hard to, I'm just gonna go color that in a little bit and then start to flick the other toe there, and same thing with this. I'm gonna leave like a little bit of white area on the top just so we can differentiate between the two of the feet. They have the feet. So I'm still flicking, turning my pencil, the little toe part here. And a toe part here, and then I'm just flicking the bottom where the bottom of the feet is, and then bringing it up a little bit in random spots. It's kind of like the grass where, you know, the only difference with the grass is it's kind of like evenly spread out where the color is. With this one, I'm putting only the darker color where I think the shade is. Whoops. Just bring this one out. And slowly I'll darken this one a little bit. And then I'm gonna come back in with the gray, and I think this one is already done, but I just want to, in spots where I feel like I could use more what is it, fur, different color fur to here. So in this part, I just want to bring it down just a little bit. You can see that I went the wrong way. So just go back. This one. Put a little bit darker here for the back of the foot. And there's one more thing I'm going to be doing after I do the pencils, especially for the gray one, and I'll show it to you right after almost done. I'm gonna come back again with the light gray, or no, not the light gray, the silver. There's no light gray. This different areas, just so you can still see that I have a little bit of the base peeking through. And then like in this area, I just want to bring out a little bit more fur sticking out right here in this part. Make it really furry. And just following the fur, but in the middle. Right there. And then for the little tail, I'm gonna come in with the gray. I'm just gonna lightly go from the bottom. It's a little bit in certain areas, so I'm gonna like the different section, just so it looks like it's separating. Right there, maybe right here. I'm not sure how bunny tails look like, but the picture of this in the back has it as a lighter shade. It looks white to me, so come over here too. So I'm going to come in now with the silver and just right over it, just bring it up a little. I'm just going to make it like the lights on this side, and so you can see. Right there. Can't tell. Is that more fur? Yeah. Just going to use the pencil to bring it together. I come in with the dark gray just for the bottom part. Just want to just a little bit, not too hard. Okay, so the one thing I'm going to be using to finish up the fur is my POSCA. One is the 1M size. If you have a smaller one, I think you can use that also. But I'm going to be flicking this one also on the fur, mostly where I would find the highlights. Let me make sure, I'll be right back and make sure this is working. Okay, so what I'm pretty much doing with the POSCA is I'm just going to be flicking like this. And that's what I want it to look like. And what I do with this one for the gray bunny is going to be different for what I do for the tan bunny with the POSCA. So this one I'm just going to go ahead and start. So I just want little flicks here and there. And you can put a little bit on the darker part just to, you know, a little bit over there. So that looks good. So now in this ear, I'm just going to, and it's random. It's not the and use it. Well, random in the highlighted parts. And then I sometimes like to put one in the dark part, you know, that little, sometimes there's a little bit of gleam that comes from the dark section of the fur. So I'm just going to, and probably a lot more where it's highlighted, especially here where the tip is. And then here in the face, I'm just going to, just a little bit right there. So for the feet, I'm just gonna start on this end and work that way. And just put it in. And I'm following the direction of the fur already. Just put a little bit here. And it kind of adds another color of fur also. Trying to follow the line of the fur. Yeah, you can also use gel pen for this if you have a fine gel pen, a white gel pen. It's good to use, and just a little bit on this side. And it's hard to see on the tail, but I'm just gonna add a little bit where the gray part is. Just stick it in. Right there. Okay, so that is the gray bunny. So now we're gonna come in and color the tan bunny itty bit. And the colors I'm using from Sargent Art Supremes are the yellow orange, light brown, and the brown. And I'm gonna start with the mid color, which is light brown. Okay, for this, for the face of the bunny, there's usually, from what I remember, there's usually like a ridge, right where the nose is before it comes to the eyes. So I'm just going to lightly, just light brown looks more orangey, but it's okay. Just going to go around the eyes, following the flow of the fur. Sorry. Here and then right over here, just like right underneath the eyes. Sorry. And then under the chin. Going to lay where I think the shady area are at. So under the cheek of the bunny, under the ear. Right under there. I just want to actually under the eyes. And then on the ear, the inside part is where I'm going to lay the light brown. Side part here. Just come down a little bit on the outside. And then we'll go with this hand. I can't tell if there's if it's just one paw or is it like separated into three. So I'm just going to shade right down here, and it's gonna assume it's just one big paw. Is that what it's called? Paw, right? Or for the bunnies. up, and then for over here, we have it on this side. And right underneath here. Actually, I'm going to have it right underneath the brush. That's where I'm going to put the darkest part of the fur, because the arm is right up here. I want to separate the arm from the body so you can see it. And then I'm just going to, oh, that's the tail. Okay, I was like, what is that? Yeah. Just gonna keep putting where I think the shadows are. How the shadows like pointing out. I'm gonna have the shadows like here. Usually, like with the bunnies, don't they have like where it comes up, the leg comes up right up here. So I'm just going to go up like this. Just bring this color out towards the tummy. The tummy is going to be the lightest one. So cute. Sorry. Okay. So for the legs, I'm going to start what I know is going to be shaded. So before I decide what to do with this part here. And that's what I do, like with shades when I'm not really sure where I want to put it. I do the ones that I know will have the darkest part, the darkest shadow. I say shade shadow, sorry, like back and forth. But so over here, I'm just gonna make like little toes for. Right here. And the bottom of his foot or paw, bunny feet. There. I'm gonna guess that this is part of the leg, and then there's like a little one right over here. That's probably the back of the other bunny feet. I'm just gonna go like this and just bring it in that way. And the little bum right over there. Buttocks. Bunny butt. I don't know what it's called. Sorry. And I think it would be just a little bit on this side. Okay, so now with my grays, and now instead with this one, now I want to cut. I'm gonna go with my darker shade. With the gray, I went from my mid shade to my light before my dark, but with the bunny, I want to go with the dark. I go back and forth. I know for some reason, for me, I don't know what. I just feel like I should do the darker one to enhance the the darkest shade of the fur. So you can tell with the brown where like the little shape for the eyes, so just continue it. Oops. Trying to be careful right here. And then, so this is the under part of the ear. So of course that would be dark, and then right under the chin. to keep flicking and turning my pencil. Then work on the ear a little bit. The right inside part. Just no, I'm not going to go all the way. Just want the inside part here. Just a little bit going out. Then right over here, behind the ear. So you can see the bunny's face is starting to take shape. I'm just going to flick a little bit more up here. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the hand. Try to follow where the fur is. And this side. On this one, I'm not going all the way down. Just going up to here. So I'm leaving a little bit the, oops, sorry. I think the light brown is what I colored down there. So I'm just putting up a little bit here. And continue. There, and then right underneath the paintbrush, I'm going to put the brown also. And then right under its arm, I'm going to try to emphasize the brown underneath there, just so the arm will stand out from the body. When this is just like a small version or illustration to color with whenever I will do like a bigger space, I tend to use a little bit more. I'll probably use a couple more colors of brown, probably from another set, to have a wider range of color. But because this illustration is small, I can just build up from the colors, the 3 colors. I'm just gonna make the belly, arm I'm missing right here. And right over here, I'm just gonna continue with the brown. Feet. Sorry, I'm getting quiet. Really, it's a Thursday right now, and so just getting ready. I'm just doing laundry actually. So after I'm done with this, I have to check if my load is done. Then I also have how many baskets do I have? 1, 2 baskets to fold clothes. Yeah, so gotta get those done. Have lots of socks to fold or roll into each other. Which I have a big sack of socks that are just missing their pairs, and every time I do the laundry, I just kind of like dread it because after each, like, I wash our clothes every 2 weeks, so every time I do the loads, I always have to spread out all our socks and try to find its pair again, because sometimes we find it later on and I wash it. So now I'm going to come in with the light brown, and I'm just going to pull the shade back out towards the lighter part, not too far, just to start to give it is it depth or just a shape with the face, so you can see the cheek, the shape of the head. So the good thing about this book, I really like that she has the fur already provided, so you can just go right in and color. But yeah, so I was talking about laundry. Got so much laundry. But it's funny, I do a lot of housework during the week, but when it comes to the weekends, it's like when my kids are home, it's hard to even bother cleaning, because once you clean, it's a mess again. So when they're at school, that's when I can do my videos, I can do housework and actually get some stuff done. But when they're here during vacations, I always think that I will have time to do stuff, but no, it's actually a lot busier when my kids are at home. Okay, so now I'm gonna start going in the stomach. So the stomach will be the lightest shade right here, and try to follow the fur there. Right, just there. And I still have one more color to come in, so it's the lightest one, and I think that should be it before I go in with the POSCA. Just bring this in. And when you're doing fur, you can always keep going back, keep adding. Just don't cover your base, because you want a little bit of the base color to show through. I know, for me, that's what I like to do, because I like to see the difference. It start looking like, actual fur, or just like different layers. So I'm gonna come back in with the yellow, or come back in, I haven't used it yet. I'm gonna use the yellow orange, and then I'm going this way now and a little bit up. And this one is close in shade with the base, so just slightly darker. It's hard to tell right here, but a little bit in, and just coloring in the middle of the lightest area. But if you want me to do a video coloring for with the illustration where it's just the line art without any of the added one, I can do that also. Just let me know. I think I said that earlier, but yeah. Let's get close to the eye a little bit right here. Where his snout, around the snout, I'm just going to go in around the ear. I'm going to bring the color out, like where the strands of the black lines. I'm just going to follow. Make it about the same length going around. Alright, into the stomach, and just I'm going to start where the light brown left off and just go out. And just keep on going. Right here, a little bit in the back. And we're going to fill in the leg. And then just follow the fur. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the tail really quick. I'm going to start with the light brown. I'm just going to go darker in the bottom and just randomly pick spot, because I want it to be mostly white. But there, and I'm going to come in with the yellow orange. Like that. I'm just gonna also come in with the brown, but just for the bottom and like the inside part here. Not too dark, I'm just picking little spots where I think could be dark. Okay. Okay, now so what I did with the gray rabbit using the POSCA, I'm going to do the same with the tan brown rabbit. I'm just going to, where I think the lightest shades are, I'm just going to, these rabbits don't have whiskers though, so I'm just picking little spots. And probably where I know where the highlight is, that's where I'm going to put the highlight. Put a little bit more right here, little pod. So a little bit on here. And the belly. Make sure it's coming out. Okay. With the tan one, I am going to go over it with the lightest pencil that I use, which is the yellow orange. The yellow orange. And with the POSCA, it's easier to use pencils on top of it compared to gel pens. If you use gel pens, you can't, I mean, you can try to color on top of it with the pencils, but it might be rubbed off. So that's one thing that you have to worry about. That's why I like to use the POSCA, especially for this fur that I'm going to do. So I'm going to come in with, actually I'm going to let that dry first. I'm going to go ahead and do the ears really quick. That's okay. So with ears for the Sargent art, I'm using Carnation, and then I'm also going to use white. I'm just going to start from here and then just lightly cover the ear, darker inside and then lightly, then just like a little bit. That's his nose, yeah. The nose, what does the nose look like? I forgot how I colored the nose. There, and so light, a little bit darker in the inside and lightly. I'm going to use white just to soften it up a little bit more. On this side, white. Okay, maybe the nose. With the snout, I'm just gonna use the same yellow orange. Around it, I'm just gonna lightly color. There's not really like a beige color in the Sargent art, so I'm just using a light. I'm just coloring lightly with the yellow orange. Just gonna go over the whole thing. The light cover and the nose. And I'm gonna come in with the brown, just a little bit of shadow. There's a little bit of shadow right there. Come in with the yellow orange again, just a little bit darker here and under the nose. Then I'm just going to use the white again, make sure it's clean, and let's go over it. Yeah. And I'll probably do the same thing. Same color on this bunny. Just go over it. And then with the brown, and the yellow orange, just a little bit, and white. Okay, so what I was talking about with coloring on top of the POSCA, I'm going to try the yellow orange first and see if it stands up. Oh, that works okay. So yeah, so I'm just going to go over the white POSCA and then just lightly color on top of it, and there's just a little bit of color, but it lightens it so it's not so white for the tan fur. Slightly darker than tan, but it's okay. Yeah, if you use gel pen, rubbing the pencils on top of gel pen, it's easy to scratch it off the paper. With the POSCA, it will stay. So you can just go right over it. So it just lightens it up a little, so it's not so bright white. There. I think I missed some there. Okay, so that's it. That's how I do fur. So I hope I explained it easily. Yeah, if you have any questions, just ask me in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on my next one. So take care, happy colorings, and bye-bye.